Thank you for joining us for our webinar, How to Create a Seamless Mobile Application Experience. My name is Paul Mason from Adzuna Australia. Now, I work with the business development team, which is great because it means if I can't answer your questions, then I can find somebody that can. I'm joined by Adzuna Australia CEO, Rafe Watson. Hi, Rafe.
Morning, Paul. Morning, everyone.
Now, as the person who started Adzuna in Australia, can you give our audience an overview of what we do and why we've produced this webinar today?
Yeah, more than happy to. So for those of you who don't know, Adzuna is a job search engine, commonly known as a job aggregator, which means we list jobs for free. So Adzuna is currently in 11 countries, soon to be 16, which includes our imminent launch in New Zealand. In this country and in New Zealand, but we have a unique difference, and that is that we're a joint venture with Fairfax. So that enables us to list jobs for free, but then also when we boost them as such, we push them out across the Fairfax network, which comprises over 300 sites. So we can really get in front of that passive, but also active job seeker. And of course, a lot of those that are on the Fairfax network, whether on the Fin Review or SMH, Domain, etc., they are surfing that content on their mobile, which is a nice segue for you, Paul.
Fantastic. Thank you, Rafe. That explains it well. Now, the number of new users on the Adzuna platform increases every month. In Australia, we're reaching more than 2 million unique monthly users, and our analytics tell us most of the sessions are coming from mobile devices. Keeping in line with our mission to be the best place for people to find a job in Australia, this webinar will demonstrate how to improve the mobile job application for job seekers. Improving the mobile experience will result in an increase in quality applications for you. Now, in this webinar, how to create a seamless mobile application, we will cover ease of comprehension. Here we will look at how mobile job advertisements are currently being written, and we'll make suggestions on how to tailor job ads to mobile. Secondly, ease of access. We'll examine the current process to apply for a job via a mobile device. We'll also offer a new alternative to mobile job applications. There's a method we believe will result in an increase in job applications via mobile for you. And finally, load time. Slow page load time on mobile kills conversions. We will take a look at what we can do to improve load times on your mobile sites. Now, before I continue, feel free to ask any questions by sending a message at the side of your screen, and Rafe and I will attempt to answer your questions at the end of the webinar.
So remind me, Paul, why are we doing this on mobile?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Rafe. Now, we know the use of mobile device continues to grow. Most of us check our phones within 1 hour of waking up. Most do immediately. Plus, an average person has been reported checks their mobile device on an average 150 times per day, hence the ubiquitous nature of mobile device use. In addition, recent reports out of Asia have said that mobile, or I should say computers, desktop and laptops have decreased, while the increase in the sale of mobile devices. So it is really becoming people's primary computing things, so therefore applying and doing a variety of things. Now, we know Australians, however, use their phones during their commute to work, at work or shopping, and during their favourite shows on Netflix, besides spending hours on social media or sending texts.
Yeah, I commute to work every day on the bus, and everybody on that bus is reading their mobile. A lot, got to be said, are reading the Fairfax properties.
Well said, and we'll come to that. But we know Australians use their mobile devices, apart from all those things, for obviously job searches and applying for jobs as well. And we know this because Adzuna, as Rafe mentioned, operates in 11 countries, soon to be 16, but globally more than 60% of our traffic comes from mobile devices. So how can we make applying for jobs on mobile devices easier for job seekers? We chatted to our design chiefs in London, Germany and Brazil to ask their advice for creating a seamless mobile job application experience.
Right, so you mentioned ease of comprehension before, Paul. So is that all about making a job ad easier to digest on a mobile device?
That's right, isn't it? That's correct, right? Yep. Simple as that. Look, many companies and recruiters write their jobs for desktop first and mobile second, even though mobile devices are being used more often. So we recommend, and the purpose of this webinar is to write for mobiles first, desktop second. Mobile behaviours are changing, and the long tail content created for desktop devices results in users getting bored and finding something else to do. So a recent report by performance marketing platform Jamp shows an 88% decrease in mobile consumers' attention span year on year. Now that's significant, and it means we need to change how we're approaching mobile users. The data shows as much as 35% decrease in mobile app session length. Now, this rapid decline in user session length means that either users are making decisions faster or they are getting distracted and losing focus. So when creating your job advertisement, remember one key rule: brevity equals king or queen. Apply the same rules used for writing a media release to write a job ad. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. Now let's take a look at the job advertisement for a UX designer. Without scrolling down, the job seeker would not know what skills the advertiser is looking for. The big chunks of text are not appealing and the vital information isn't visible. This job ad looks like it was written for a desktop first, not mobile. Another problem with this job is that users only allocate 20% of their attention to information below the fold. This means the information that can only be found through scrolling. Web users spend 80% of their time above the fold. Hence, this job ad, on the other hand, ticks most of the boxes. A UX designer landing on this job ad knows the exact skills required. They are in plain sight, in easy to read dot points on the screen. Something that neither of these job ads does particularly well, however, is offer an easy application process. And that brings us to our next step. Now, this is an important step. It will make a huge difference in the overall mobile experience for job seekers. Each click is a job application process, is a hurdle separating you from the candidate. We should take the lead of e-commerce companies who scrutinize the number of clicks to conversions more than any other business. For example, Nike, it takes 7 clicks to purchase. For ASOS, it takes 9 clicks of the mouse to buy your favorite dress. When the application process is too difficult, you will find you will lose quality candidates. In 2015, approximately $4 trillion of merchandise was abandoned on online shopping carts. How much of this was not purchased because the process was too difficult? Let's take a look at an example of a poor mobile application process. So the candidate, as you'll see here, has clicked apply on the job ad and landed on this screen. The user now has to enter the first name, last name, and upload a cover letter and resume, all from a mobile device. There is also a strict rules on the types of documents that can be uploaded. There are multiple barriers to application for this job advertisement. There has to be a better way. Now on the left is an example of an alternative application process for one of those hard to fill job roles. In this case, a senior manager in cybersecurity. Now on the left, you'll see a clear, concise job description, which includes all the vital information. A job seeker reading this job description would understand exactly, or I should say a job description would understand exactly what essential skills are required. The application field is very simple. Enter your name, email address, and phone number, and then click the Apply Now button. Once the job seeker has made the application, they will be emailed instantly asking for a copy of their CV, which is you see on the image on the right. The hiring manager also has the option to immediately call the applicant to qualify them over the phone, so hence speeding up the process. This method of application is very simple for the job seeker. It means they can apply while they're out to lunch, during their commute, or watching TV at home. The first step can be completed at a later stage when the job seeker is at their computer and can email a copy of their CV directly to the hiring manager.
Yeah, I got to say, again, on my commute, I see people looking at job ads, and I know that if they have to do more than a few clicks, they're certainly not going to do it, and they won't be able to upload. Only a few people know how to upload from their mobile a CV. So
important, and as you said, if people get distracted, then they might not apply at all, and the client is not going to capture their details.
That's absolutely right.
And an opportunity lost. So for the hiring manager, it means qualified leads at their fingertips. Very few applicants would apply for jobs if they did not meet the clearly set out criteria. So now we have the job ad written for mobile and have an easy to apply process for job seekers. We can focus on the user experience. Now we can focus on the user experience on your mobile site. So let's take a look at how the speed of your site can impact on the mobile application experience. In 2017, we expect lightning fast load speed regardless of whether we're in a car park basement or enjoying a rooftop beverage on a Friday afternoon. Now, load time will impact your bottom line. As mentioned, improving a load time will increase the number of conversions, in our case, job applications. As mentioned before, with an e-commerce store, $100,000 per day, a single page delay could potentially cost up to $2.5 million per year. So how can you give your mobile site a health check and find out exactly what you need to do?
Yeah, and think also that if you're making somebody upload their CV or other doc through the mobile and there's bad connection, they're going to blame it on your site, not on their own connection.
Yeah, well said. Now, well, just as you see on the screen in front of you now, head across to Google's mobile speed test. The speed test takes your URL and measures on a scale of 1 to 100 your mobile design and loading speed. It looks at things like CSS, HTML scripts, and images to see how long it takes for your website to load on both the desktop and mobile device. Now, Google says an average user leaves the site if it doesn't load on a mobile within 3 seconds. The report you can see before you will both tell you what you are doing right and also make suggestions on how to improve your load speeds. In summary, more than half of job seekers use mobile devices to search and apply for jobs. This number is only going to increase. It's time to start thinking about how your business can make the process of applying for a job on a mobile device easier and faster.
Yeah, and these figures are only going to increase, and they have been increasing year on year.
Sure. So with that said, Rafe, we'll open it up to questions. We've got a few questions that have come through. Have you got one there particularly?
Yeah, there's a couple here. So I've got one which says, how involved is creating a new application process? What are the first steps?
Well, good question. And the process is minimal and the changes to your website are superficial. The new form will mean applicants will continue to pass through your applicant tracking system, and you'll only receive the vital contact information. So you can have a chat to your web developer. Also, you can have a chat to your provider, whoever hosts your landing page, and maybe you remove that compulsory component of having to include your resume with an application.
Yeah, and look, I've seen this obviously from a few of our clients, a couple that have removed that mandatory attach a CV on their mobile application. Applications have increased, and of course, speed to fill increased.
Dramatically, and so the cost will be minimal, but the impact should be large, and you'll be able to obviously quantify that yourselves. So, any other questions there, Ray?
Yep, we've got if the mobile speed test shows up multiple errors, what steps do I take to fix them, and what will the cost be?
Right. Well, it's a question like this. I mean, it's responsibility you're going to assign your web developer. We spoke earlier about how much slow load times cost e-commerce stores. I had mentioned that example before about an e-commerce store, with losing $100,000 per day for a 1 second delay. So if you extrapolate that out to your current business, I mean, apply the same rules. How many applications you are currently receiving versus load speed of your site. Now, if you can speed up your mobile site by seconds, this will impact on the number of applications you receive, and you will save money. So compare those savings with how much the changes to your mobile site will cost. And I'm sure your web developer will be too pleased to advise you. With that said, any other questions, Ray, for now?
No,
we're running out of time.
None have come through, and we'll run out of time.
We've got the big wind up, so just a quick time to say thank you for attending, and thanks to everyone involved. But firstly, just to say if you missed last month, we had a webinar in the series, The Power of Passive Talent. If you'd like to catch that, let us know and we'll send you a copy. And next month, we've got coming up exciting one on tracking and attribution of candidate sources. So in the meantime, you will receive an email with a copy of this webinar as well for you and your friends and the whole family. And feel free to reply to that with any of your questions or comments or feedback. And we welcome that. So anyway, thanks again. Thanks for joining us, and thank you, Rafe.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. Look, and if any of you out there want to list your jobs in Adzuna, please let us know.
Great idea. See you next time. Thanks again.
Bye.